Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another video. It is the player ratings. Everton 2, Chelsea 0 at Goodison Park today. Another absolutely phenomenal 3 points for Sean Dyche's Everton side after a fantastic win on Thursday night. I did fear that there would be a little bit of a knock-on effect after that game, maybe some fatigue, maybe some tiredness, maybe players not quite being able to reach that level again. But once again, those players dug deep, worked hard, battled, fought for absolutely every ball and gave absolutely everything to win that game of football, and deservingly won that game of football. I've just read a quote from Mauricio Pochettino that stated that he believes that they deserve to win that game. In fact, I'll just read the quote out to let you all know how deluded Mauricio Pochettino actually is. He said, assessing Everton, we deserve full credit because we were much better than them, but in the end you need to score. That fella hasn't got a clue about football, clearly, and I've always said he's an overrated manager, and I think that comment in itself has just absolutely proven it. Anyway, this is the player ratings, as I said. Another absolutely phenomenal win for Everton Football Club today. Full credit to the manager, full credit to the players. They have managed to drag themselves out of a situation that they didn't deserve to be in, that they were in because of sheer corruption, and still they managed to, put their head down, get their head down, work hard, battle, fight for everything, and drag themselves out of that situation to the point where now we're 1 point behind where we were, obviously, prior to the points deduction. And without the points deduction and without corruption, we would be only a couple of points off European places. So that just shows you how well this manager is doing at the moment. It just shows you how well these players are doing as well. It was another unbelievable afternoon at Goodison. If you haven't checked out the instant match reaction, please go and do so after this live stream. Of course, this is the player ratings, the show where we give every player a rating between 1 and 10 based upon their performance today. We, of course, are always brought to you by FanHub. Go down below in the description and check out FanHub. It is completely free to download. If you use the code THE-UBP, you will get on instantly. Go and follow us over there at TheMightyBlues. You can predict your starting 11s. You can predict your scores. As you can see there, I got 10 out of 11 correct, only missing Ashley Young, of course. And the more predictions you get right, the more points you get, the more points you win. You can exchange them for things like pints of beer in your local boozer or clothing items and other things as well. So go over, check out FanHub. Massive thank you to them as always. Let's get straight into it then. In goal, Jordan Pickford. Another really solid performance from Jordan today. Didn't have to make a huge plethora of unbelievable world-class saves, but the saves that he had to make, he was there to make. As I said, Chelsea, I thought, were really poor today. I'm not quite sure what game Mauricio Pochettino was watching. They had a couple of moments where they looked dangerous on the attack, where players like Mudryk got the better of Ashley Young and Nathan Patterson a couple of times, but nothing ever came of it, and nothing was ever forced. Nothing ever forced Jordan Pickford into making any saves that you wouldn't expect them to make. I'm going to give him a 7.5. As I said, I don't think he should be criticised or downrated for not having an awful lot to do. It just shows you how well the rest of the team played and the rest of the squad played. But what he had to do, he did. There was a couple of moments that could have caused problems, and he come out and he dealt with them really comfortably. So yeah, he's getting a 7.5. Vitaly Mykolenko at left back. Wow, I could, no word of a lie, and this isn't even a joke or any form of exaggeration, I could spend all night talking about Vitaly Mykolenko. I really could. I could sit here and spend the next 5 hours talking about how good Vitaly Mykolenko is. He was absolutely outstanding again tonight. Absolutely outstanding. His one-on-one defending was perfect, whether it be against Sterling, whether it have been against whoever else they had against him. I think Mudryk was over there a couple of times. No matter who he has to defend against, he's been put up against some of the best wingers in the country so far this season. Bukayo Saka, Mohamed Salah. He obviously had Anthony Gordon, Almiron on Thursday. He had Sterling today, and yet absolutely none of them get the better of him. Absolutely none of them. He puts in unbelievable performance after unbelievable performance, week in, week out, and the kid deserves so much credit. He's getting a 10 out of 10 today for me. He's getting a 10 out of 10, and I know you might say, oh, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but for me, as a left back, yeah, you could say he could have scored, Cam, or he could have assisted, or he could have got up a little bit more, but as a left back, in that performance today, in the way in which we played, how does he get any better? Somebody please enlighten me what Vitaly Mykolenko could have done today from his position that would have got him, that we would have sat here and said, oh yeah, that was better than what it was today. He couldn't. He was a 10 out of 10. He was an absolute 10 out of 10 today, Vitaly Mykolenko. He's unbelievable. The kid has flourished so much this season. He's become so much more consistent. He's stronger. He's faster. He's more confident in himself. He will get forward when he needs to. He can get back and defend. His one-on-one defending. Not only at left back, by the way, there were a couple of moments today where I felt the right-hand side was a little bit weak and was out of position a couple of times, especially in that first half when Ashley Young was in there. And there was a couple of moments where Mykolenko had to come across. He had to fill in at centre-back, or he had to move across, and he did it, and he intercepted the ball 2 or 3 times, not even in the left-back position, because he read the play, and he come across, and he dealt with it. Unbelievable today. Absolutely unbelievable. 10 out of 10, without a shadow of a doubt, and this kid just gets better and better and better week in, week out, and he deserves the absolute... He deserves every single bit of credit that we can give him, because he was fantastic again. Jeff's in the comments. Haven't seen Jeff for a while. Nice one, my mate. He says, this is proper Everton team. Dice needs respect and praise for what he's done. Absolutely, mate. Spot on. Damo says, the Mighty Blues, I love you in your ratings. They're always spot on. A clean sheet. Best keeper in England. Thank you very much, my mate. Gotta go, he says. Check the rest of it out. Nice one, my mate. Nice one. Really appreciate it. So, yeah. Vitaly Mykolenko, 10 out of 10. Absolutely phenomenal again today. Absolutely phenomenal. Jared Brandwaite next to him. I'm going to give Jared a 9 out of 10. Again, not a huge amount to do. They had a couple of moments from long balls in or from corners where it was sort of bouncing around in our 6-yard box, and it could have caused a little bit of an issue. It could have caused a little bit of stress. But, I say this every week, the calmness and the coolness that this lad plays with week in, week out is so commendable. And I know I said it last week, and I'm in danger of repeating myself, but I watched an interview with James Maddison last week, and he was speaking about Jude Bellingham and how Jude Bellingham is somebody that is so young and so inexperienced in terms of how little football he's actually played in his career, and yet he plays like somebody that's played at the top level for 10, 15, 20 years and won it all, and knows exactly where he needs to be and what he needs to do and how he needs to perform. And that is Jared Brandwaite to a T for me. Absolutely Jared Brandwaite to a T. If you would have said to a non-footballing fan, this is his first season at the top level in English football, they'd say that's impossible. He must have come from the top level of Spanish football or the top level of German football, because he's just so comfortable, he's so calm, he's so cool. Nothing seems to faze him, nothing seems to become an issue, nothing seems to make him panic. He's big, he uses his energy, he uses his strength, he uses his physicality, and once again today I thought he was absolutely phenomenal today. Again, really difficult to criticise him, really difficult to criticise any of them today, but Jared once again was absolutely spot on. James Tarkowski next to him, then I'm going to give him an 8 again. Similarly, I don't think he was as involved as Jared, don't think he was as impactful as Jared, but still, again, another unbelievable performance. I was probably a little bit harsh on Tarkowski on Thursday, if I'm being honest with you, because he did put in 2 or 3 absolutely world-class challenges to deny Newcastle from getting clear shots off a goal on Thursday, and I seemed to skip over them in the player ratings, and I apologise for that. Again today, in fact, no, he's getting a 9 out of 10. I think it's a little bit unfair to give one of them more than the other. Again, today, that partnership as a whole was absolutely fantastic. It works so well together. They've got so much chemistry. They've got so much belief in themselves. I feel like the trust level that is there in that partnership is so clear, and we've not had that in a centre-back partnership at Everton Football Club for a long, long time. Whatever it might have been because of, whether it was because players didn't trust Yerry Mina to be fit every week, whether it was because players didn't trust Michael Keane to perform every week, whatever it was, we haven't had that situation at this football club for a long, long time where both centre-halves trust each other, know that the next one is going to be there every week, know that they're going to perform every week, and they play with confidence and they play with coolness. And the pair of them today were absolutely phenomenal. Once again, absolutely phenomenal. And yeah, deserve masses and masses amounts of credit for another top class performance. Don't get me wrong, I don't think Chelsea are very good whatsoever, but they still have got talented players. They've still got players in there worth over £100 million apparently, and it's still required both centre-halves to be aware and be on their game, and in order to keep their third clean sheet in the space of 7 days. So huge credit to both of them. I thought they were both absolutely unbelievable. Obviously, I've got Nathan Patterson in here. That was a missed choice from me. Ashley Young started at right back. I'm going to give him a 6.5. Obviously, he come off for Patterson in the second half. I thought he was all right. I just think that right-hand side is an area of required improvement, in my opinion. I don't think it's necessarily an area of concern. I don't think it's something that we should overly harp on about or overly worry about, but I do think there's room for improvement down that right-hand side. And whether that be from team selection, whether it be from the manager choosing Patterson instead of Young, or, Coleman back in there, or whether it be through players improving themselves. As much as I think Jack Harrison worked hard today, and as much as I think Jack Harrison works hard every single time he's on the pitch, I don't think anybody would question that on the ball he can improve. His decision-making on the ball can improve, his time on the ball can improve, what he does with it can improve, as can Ashley Young's, and I just feel like at the moment that right-hand side is being targeted a little bit by opposition teams. Not that they particularly have got any luck out of it recently, but, a better side than Chelsea, a more competent left winger, than Mudryk would have maybe caused us a bit of an issue today. And yeah, individually, I didn't think he was bad. Ashley Young, I thought he got caught a couple of times, out of position in terms of he gave Mudryk a little bit too much space to work with. But I don't think he was awful. I think he worked hard. I think he battled. I think he put himself about. Obviously, as I said, he come off with a little bit of time to go through an injury, so hopefully that's nothing too serious. But yeah. He's a 38-year-old playing his second game in the space of 3 days at that intensity and that level that we've spoken about being so difficult to maintain. That's so difficult to maintain when you're in your early 20s and you're at the peak of your fitness, never mind when you're 38 years old and, you may be coming towards the end of your career. So I'm not going to criticise him too much. I don't think he was unbelievable, but I don't think he was bad by any sense of the imagination. Into the midfield then. Ghana guy, I'm going to give Ghana a 6 as well. Obviously, brought up at half-time for Onana. Didn't think he was great today, Ghana, I'll be honest with you. I thought he got caught a couple of times in possession. I don't think he was awful. I think he had moments where he looked good and he looked positive and he was winning the ball back and he was moving the ball. But I do think there were a couple of times where he was caught in possession as well. And it was sort of like we were let off the hook a little bit by the fact that Chelsea didn't make anything of it. Again, I'm not going to sit here and overly criticise him. I'm not going to sit here and have a go at him. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, well, he's this, he's that, he's the other, because Ghana has been one of our best players, if not our best player for the last 3 or 4 weeks or so in the absence of Onana. So, fortunately for us, the 1 week where he maybe isn't at that level is the week that Amadou Onana is back fit and was able to come on and was able to see the game out in the second half. So yeah, not too much to overreact to, but I don't think he was as good today, Ghana, as he has been. But again, 30 odd years old, playing his second game within the space of 4 days, his third game within the space of a week. These things have to be taken into consideration when the squad is playing at such a high level of intensity and such a high level of energy and determination and passion. You have to take into consideration the fact that, certain players in the squad are of an age where they may not be able to do that for 2 or 3 games in the space of such a short period of time. So yeah, not awful and nothing to particularly worry about, but today as he has been recently. James Garner next to him then, obviously brought back into the squad after missing the Newcastle game through an illness. James Garner is getting an 8.5. Again, thought he was absolutely phenomenal today. Absolutely phenomenal. To be out with an illness, we can only assume for that illness to be serious enough to keep you out of a game of football on Thursday, and then come back 3 days later and put that level of performance in, just shows how much this football club means to James Garner. Just shows how much he wants to play for this football club. Just shows how much he wants to work for this football club. Just shows how much, as I said, this club means to him, and playing in front of us as fans means to him. He was absolutely unbelievable again today. His hold-up play, breaking the play up, moving the ball around, but specifically his determination and desire when Chelsea had the ball to win it back and to get on top of them. And not give them a minute to think, not give them a second to play a long ball or to look up for a pass. He was on them straight away, instantly. And like I said, he deserves massive amounts of credit for that, James Garner. One of our best players this season, and another impeccable performance by him today. Abdoulaye Doucoure then. Abdoulaye Doucoure. Abs is that player, isn't he, that you need in your team every single week, because even though he might go 60, 70 minutes without having a big impact on the game, or some of his passes might be a little bit poor, or he mightn't quite get his foot under the ball, even though that might be the case, he still is the one player that consistently pops up every single time we need him to get a goal. 6 Premier League goals this season, more than any other Everton player. 11 Premier League goals since Sean Dyche has come into the football club, more than any other Everton player. He's imperative. He's absolutely imperative to this club and to this team. And he's the player that, as we said in the instant match reaction, the last couple of games, Everton have had to dig deep. Everton have had to, dig to find the winner. Everton have had to work hard, battle, really, really, really give everything in order to come away with a win. And Abdoulaye Doucoure has been that player on both occasions who has provided big moments. And yeah, the credit he deserves for that is there's not enough air in my lungs to give Abdoulaye Doucoure enough credit as he deserves. He was phenomenal again today. Not hugely involved generally, but pops up with the winning goal. And I know we ended up going and getting the second, but maybe we don't get the second if it wasn't for Doucoure's opener. So yeah, unbelievable today. He's getting a 8.5 again. An 8.5 again. He was I can't give the lad enough credit. He is becoming a hero at this football club because of how many important goals he has scored. Just think back, Bournemouth and the last season, Thursday at Newcastle, today Brighton away from home, huge games at Southampton a couple of years ago, huge games that Everton have needed to win and needed to get results in, and Abdoulaye Doucoure has stepped up and scored in those games. And yeah, he deserves massive amount of credit for that. Wingers then, Dwight McNeil, going to give him a 7. Thought he worked hard. Thought he put himself about. Don't think he was hugely involved in the game. Wasn't as involved as he was on Thursday night, and I think he looked tired. I'll be honest. I think he looked a little bit fatigued. I think he looked a little bit, like he was feeling it a little bit, but still put himself about, still worked hard. Not as good on the ball, obviously, as he was on Thursday, but again, as I said, on Thursday, he was absolutely back to his very best, so I'm not going to criticise him too much on that. The work rate was there, the effort was there, the determination was there, the desire was there. He just didn't quite have that final touch, but again, we didn't need it tonight, and I don't think he should be criticised too much for that. Jack Harrison on the other side then, I'm going to give Jack a 6.5. I think the effort's there. I think the work rate's there. I think the determination's there. And maybe I'm just not seeing something that is so blatantly obvious. But I just think he could do better on the ball. I just think his decision-making could be a little bit better. I just think his final ball could be a little bit better. I just think his decisions under pressure with the ball at his feet could be a little bit better. I just think he rushes sometimes, whether it's because he's panicking or he's not massively confident, or I don't know what it is, but I just think sometimes he rushes things and he doesn't make the right decision, and it ends up in an opposition attack or the opposition regaining the possession. Again, similar to Dwight, he worked hard, he put himself about, he got no issue with his determination, no issue with his battle, his fight, his desire, no issue with any of that, just his quality, I think. And it's more of a, it's not a frustration or well, it is a frustration, but it's not an anger or a sort of get him out the team, he's shite. It's more of a frustration because I know he can give more. I know he can be better. And I know there's a player in there with genuine, real quality that could, win Everton games of football. That could be a huge player this season. And it's just about getting that out of him. And I'm not quite sure we're getting that fully out of him yet. But, still worked hard, battled and put himself about, so he deserves credit for that. And then Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front. I'm going to give Dom a 7. Thought he worked hard. Thought he battled, put himself about. It wasn't particularly great in front of goal. Didn't really have much to do. He did obviously get the shot away for the first goal. It come from him making a really good run in behind and getting the shot away. And had that have got in, we may be having a different conversation. But yeah, effort was there, work rate was there, determination was there. As always, by Dom, he makes it really difficult for opposition teams to play against them, and that's what we need, isn't it? That's what we need. Subs bench then, Nathan Patterson, going to give him a 6.5. Thought he'd come on, thought he'd done well, thought he was solid. Again, couple of moments where he left Mudryk a little bit too much space to run down that left-hand side, but, other than that, I thought he was solid enough, put himself about, battled, worked hard. And yeah, Amadou Onana, going to give him a 7.5. I thought he put in a really good shift today. Come on, obviously, for the first time in a few weeks. He's been out with an injury, and he made a couple of really big challenges on the edge of the box, in the box. Those challenges where, because he's that tall and he's that long, he throws his foot out and he ends up winning the ball about 3 miles away from where he's actually, challenging from. But yeah, he made a couple of really big moments and really big challenges and big moments to just sort of settle the game down and kill their attack off. And then we were able to go and move forward. So yeah, he deserves a lot of credit for that. Beto then, going to give Beto a 6.5 as well. Come on. Ran round, worked hard, obviously didn't have much to do, wasn't presented with any real big opportunities, so you can't really criticise him or praise him. But, he come on, he ran round and he worked hard. And then Lewis Dobbin, it's only fair, isn't it? It's only fair. He's getting a 10 out of 10. What a moment for the kid. What a moment for the kid. I mean, Joe Rooney says, did you watch McNeil? He set up the first goal. Yeah, it was a lovely pass. It was a lovely pass. But my opinion is he wasn't where he wasn't quite as on it as he was on Thursday night. I'm not having a go at him. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Fair play to him. He was clearly tired. He was clearly fatigued. He still worked hard. He still put himself about. I just don't think he was a 10 out of 10. Well, that's my opinion. Yeah, Lewis Dobbin, yeah, what a moment for him to come on, 10 minutes to go. His only real objective was to make a positive impact. Go out there and show me, as a manager, Sean Dyche, why you should be coming off this bench every week. And he's did it. The ball falls to him, and it's an absolutely stupendous strike. It's a lovely strike of the football, and he deserves it. And his celebration showed just how much it meant to him. Glenn's donated £2 to the team, says Doucoure, yeah, feeling hot. Is right, mate, is right. Yeah, there you go. That's the player ratings. I am losing my voice again, I think, which is great. If you have enjoyed it, please hit that like button. It does only take a second if you are new to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Instant Match Reaction is up now as well. Go and give that a watch if you haven't already, and we'll be back obviously tomorrow for the game review. Another win in the bag, another 3 points. What a 4 days it's been for Everton Football Club and for all of us. Getting up the toffees. Leave a like if you have enjoyed it. Please do hit that subscribe button if you are new, and we'll see you soon. Up the fucking toffees. See you after.